Hey guys, this is Dennis, the founder of Think Hero.
And I'm David Griffin, your resident comic book and video game guru.
And this is our review of The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 8.
Too Far Gone.
The mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Kind of the one that it's been building up for. And I have to say, I actually really like this episode. The one caveat I have for it is not really the episode. It's this should have been the Season 3 finale.
Yes, yes.
They didn't need all that build-up. Some people will say, well, yeah, they need all... Not really. If you had just taken the same story that happened in Season 3 and just fit it to what happened in this episode,
right,
I think it would have worked just fine.
I think it hurt some of the motivations for this episode. I think, in the comic, the town of Woodbury attacks the prison. You get why they're upset. You can understand because you know the governor is crazy. He riled up all these people. But the fact that he got this little new family to rally and attack the prison, you know, I mean, like really that fast? It's like you really be like, we need to attack this prison. I realize that the governor has some charisma. I get it, but I didn't understand the motivations behind them attacking that. So I realized that once the attack happened, some people had second thoughts. And one girl was freaking out, like, guy just cut somebody's head off, you know. So I don't know. I didn't get the motivations. Like I said, I wish this would have happened with the town of Woodbury at the end of Season 3.
Yeah, it would have made more sense. Well, that's why, as someone we both have read the comic books.
Right.
You've gone further. I think you're caught up with it, right?
Yeah.
For me, where this episode ends is where my comic book reading has ended. So I knew that there was going to be a big battle with the tank, with the governor.
Some differences.
And I knew he was going to die, or maybe I thought he was going to die, because some of the stuff that happens in the comic book doesn't happen in... Certain characters die in the comic book that don't die in the show, and some people that die on the show don't die in the comic book.
In this case, Herschel does die.
Yes.
Differently. I won't spoil anything. There's a character who is beheaded in that scene in the comic book who's still alive. I'm not going to say who, but they flipped it around. I'm always fine with that. I'm always fine with them flipping it around.
I didn't have an issue with that. And then you had the governor's death, which it was kind of a two-part. Like, it was Michonne through the chest, but then it was really, at the end, Lily with the gun to his face.
I got to ask this. I know this is stupid to ask because this is a practical question in a show that's based on a post-apocalyptic world filled with zombies, but how did she walk with the little girl? I mean, she said, like, the prison is off of highway something. That makes it seem like it's several miles. Did she walk with the girl in her arms the whole way?
I'm assuming she drove and then took her out of the car.
You got to suspend belief a little bit. I get it, but it's just kind of funny.
But the governor's death in the comic book is much more gruesome.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Much more gruesome.
Definitely.
With Michonne.
Yeah. So,
I guess maybe for the television purposes, they didn't want to show that.
It's AMC. Can't go too far, right?
Yeah. So what did you think about the episode as a whole? I mean, did you like it?
I thought it was good. I think there's moments when I was watching it, I think maybe I'm too far gone with the series. This was a good episode. I don't want to take away from that. There were moments I liked and moments I didn't like. Like I said, the motivation with the characters, I didn't get why they would rile up and be like, we got to take this prison with a tank. I mean, he's like, we don't need to hurt anybody. No one needs to get hurt, but you have a tank. It's like, come on. I mean, you're trying to make a statement with that. I'm having trouble this whole season just getting into the characters. I don't know who I really care about. I like the governor. Like I said, I think the governor's better. Like you and I both agree on this. I think the governor's better in the TV series than in the comics. He's way more fleshed out. I think David Morrissey did an excellent job portraying. I'm kind of sad that he's gone. I'm sad the governor's gone. I think he's a great character.
Yeah, he has more dimensions to him. He's not the governor in the comic book is much more like ha ha ha. I'm an evil bastard villain. Where this one, there are moments of humanity and goodness in him. Yeah. But then you also see his craziness and you know, cutting off Herschel's head and you know, once he found out that the daughter, his like surrogate daughter, was gonna turn into a zombie, just blam.
And that's what worries me about the series a little bit is the whole shock value. I don't know how far they can push it. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to go for the whole Game of Thrones thing. I mean, you have the little girl. As soon as she was playing in that mud, and I was just waiting for a zombie to come. I'm like, she's dead. I mean, it's just you kind of knew it was coming. And then with little kids shooting an adult, you know, those little like cute little girls shooting adults. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to feel an emotion when I see that. Like, oh my gosh, those little kids. Like, I feel so like how dark they've turned. But I'm like, I don't I don't have an emotional connection to them, so I don't really feel anything towards that. Those are the parts of the episode where I was like, I just couldn't get into it. But I thought it was a big improvement. Definitely a big improvement in this episode.
Yeah, I liked Maggie's reaction to her father's death. Yeah. And Beth's reaction. Yeah. They all kind of went crazy. They had to run around. I mean, it was.
I miss Herschel.
It was chaos, you know, because they see this thing happening from so far away. Right. They can't do anything about it, and they're just firing their guns, and then, with the tank blowing up like the prison left and right. The gates falling down, zombies coming in, like it's just craziness, and they're running around. But before that, we had. I thought when Rick told Daryl about Carol, I thought that Daryl would have a stronger reaction.
Yeah, because he cares for her. Yeah,
he was upset, but he, I thought he might have gotten really upset and maybe gone to blows with Rick. You liar! She didn't do that. That type of thing, kind of denial. But he kind of accepted it, but at the same time, he was still angry about it, but he kept it in check. And he's like, well, we better tell Tyrese then. And of course, Tyrese never finds out.
No, because explosion. Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry, we got to go. We got to check out what's going on outside. Yeah. No, I thought Daryl would react a little differently. I mean, Daryl had some nice moments in this episode, of course, when he's putting the zombie as a shield. I mean, that was cool.
Throwing the grenade down the tank.
Shooting Charlie from Fringe. I mean, I was sad to see Charlie go, but that's okay. He's good. I mean, Daryl's always a badass. He's a good character. Michonne has some good moments. I still don't know if I care about Carl. Like when Rick was like, Carl, I was like, the kid could be dead. And this is my problem. This is not the show's fault. In the comic book, Carl is still a little guy. Like I reread Volume 8, Too Far Gone, and Carl's like a little guy. I mean, he's got to be 9, 10. He's a little guy, but I mean, kids hit puberty, they grow. I get it.
Season 4, so it's like 4 years now.
It's not the kid's fault. In the comic, you can draw the kid the same way over and over again. So he seems so much older, but I like him as a little kid, and all the stuff he has to go through seems so much more intense. Whereas on the show, I'm like, okay, now he's just kind of an annoying adolescent.
Well, he's still trigger happy.
Remember, he's just shooting people.
Well, he's like, oh, should we just shoot him? Like, I got the governor.
I got the gun. I can shoot him. I got him in my sights.
I'm like, dude, you know how far you are? You're not gonna hit him.
If Daryl says you can't make that shot, you can't make that shot.
Yeah. So little trigger happy, but at the end, he did take care of business.
He did.
He was shooting.
He got it done.
Zombies. Both him and his father were distraught over Judith's disappearance. We can't say death.
Right, because the girls.
You had the baby basket.
Yeah, the little girl.
It's bloody, but she's not there. So we'll tell you what happens in the comic book because it's not going to happen like this.
Right. So in the comic book, Lori is running.
Who's still alive.
Running with the baby. Wait, is she still pregnant? She had the baby.
No,
she has the baby. She has the baby in her arms. And then you just see this full page of her and just blood, and then like this, and then so she's gone.
Yeah, so Lori's still alive in the comic book in this particular sequence. She's carrying the baby and she gets shot with a sniper, like her and the baby just
get blood splatter. Yeah.
So it's not a spoiler because we don't know.
Because Lori's dead, so she ain't coming back.
Lori's dead, and in this one we don't know what happened to Judith.
Right.
Because there's no body. Right. It's just some blood. We don't. Maybe someone took her. Maybe she's on the bus.
Yeah.
We don't really know exactly who's on the bus because the bus takes off before we see who's on it.
Right.
We know that Glenn was on it. We don't know if he ever got off. We don't know if Maggie got off or is still on it. I like those moments between Maggie and Glenn. Those are two characters I care about. I care about Daryl. Yeah. And I care about Rick and Carl a little bit. Yeah. Carl, he annoys me sometimes, but maybe,
Right.
I think they had a moment in this episode that I think was good. So,
I mean, because the story for the second half of the comic book, not to spoil anything, is really a story about Rick and his son. I mean, he meets other people, of course. There's always new encounters, new things going on, but it's really about Rick and Carl. I miss Andrea in this because Andrea's a badass. Like she was sniping in the comic book. She's sniping. She's killing. She's still around. Andrea's great. It's too bad they kind of ruined her character, but. It was just still good. This was what I wanted at the end of season 3, and they delivered. Good action.
Yeah, a lot of action.
Good set pieces, good story. It did a good job. Overall, this is a good episode, I think.
Yeah, I think they should have just made this to season 3.
Right.
And then all that kind of stuff beforehand didn't really need to be there. Because if you think about it, the end of this episode could have been achieved back then.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So. All right, guys, so that's what we thought of the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead. Doesn't come back until February. So
big break.
Yeah. So let us know what you think. You can post your comments below on the website, thinkhero.com, or on our YouTube channel, Think Hero Pro. Make sure you subscribe to
that. You also can find us on Twitter. We'll talk to Dennis and I about how are you going to spend your time between now and February. There are other shows to watch, people. There are other shows out there besides The Walking Dead. So feel free to chat with us. Let us know what you want to watch. If you want any advice on what to watch, we'll tell you. We're at Think Hero. I'm at Griffin DE.
And we also have a Facebook page. That's facebook.com/ThinkHeroFans. And make sure you like that page and you share our video, tweet it out, post it on Facebook. That'll really help us out.